This is clearly inspired by Mercedes, and I feel like they should have done a better job for this bike. Like, which feels sort of weird, like a video game feeling. I don't like it. This is the 2025 Omoda C9 by Jaecoo, and the price under 200,000 ringgit. Wow, that's really good value, eh? At first glance, it looks like a 300,000 ringgit car. But here's the question, is it really a premium product or it's not quite there yet? Well, let's find out, shall we? Omoda C9 made its Malaysian debut in December 2024 following a preview a few months earlier, and ever since it's been turning heads. The entry-level two-wheel drive here starts at 168,800 ringgit, while the all-wheel drive costs 188,800 ringgit, and on paper, either way you look at it, both gets a pretty loaded spec sheet. Here's where things gets a little tricky with the name. Jaecoo is luxury brand under the Cherry family. Well, you know we have Omoda 5 and the Omoda E5, but this one, a little tricky. The C9 wears the Jaecoo badge. It's to leverage on Jaecoo's high-end persona, which allows the C9 to position itself as a sport performance-centric model while drawing distinction between Cherry's more family-oriented image. While at it, this C9, the little icon and the splash screen will remind you of what it is called in China, Exceed, specifically Exceed RX or Yaoguang. Let's move on from the naming confusion, shall we? Price-wise, this is around the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro and the Honda CR-V price. Styling-wise though, it does remind you of the Toyota Harrier and even a bit of the Mercedes-Benz GLC. But between those two, this is priced much lower. First impression of the exterior, the C9 is actually quite a handsome looking car. Let's start with this Energy Matrix taillight, which looks like it was taken from the current generation Porsche Cayenne. Sleek. While at it, check out the third brake light, man. This looks like it was taken from a race car of some sort. Quite cool. Moving on, this side profile right here, this screams 4th generation Lexus RX. Very stylish. And check out the door handles, these pop-up ones. And this trim right here, reminded me of the Range Rover Vela. Quite a good looking car then at the side. As for the wheels, it measures 20 inch and wrapped in this Michelin E-Primacy 245/50 tires. It's a bit odd that they use an EV tire for this kind of car. I wonder whether it affects the handling or weight. Well, let's find out later in our test drive. Either way, the two-wheel drive comes in a silver brake calipers all around, but the all-wheel drive comes in red. Personally, take the silver. The red feels a little too racer boy for this kind of car. Anyway you put it, I reckon this will resonate with buyers that have previously owned SUV back then, like the Ssangyong Rexton, the Honda HR-V, or even the first or second generation Toyota Harrier. Yes, the charm of the old school SUV combined with the current era and modern technology of present times. I think this is a solid car. Inside, this is where the Chinese brand has leveled up their game. At first glance, it looks sleek, stylish, and quite appropriately premium. Hey, even might give the folks a second look at the GLC or even the X5 interior. However, start poking around, touch and feel the material, it's not quite there yet up to a Mercedes or even BMW level. For example, the dashboard here, this top part, it actually feels stiff. Even this part here doesn't feel as good as the one in those two brands I mentioned. Even the seat leather here in the two-wheel drive is actually artificial. Maybe it feels much better in the all-wheel drive because it uses real leather, but hey, I haven't experienced that yet, so I will have to keep my opinion to myself. Then you have this silver piece of trim, this silver color thing here right here as well. It looks flat and doesn't feel like it should be here. And the biggest crime of all is this fake looking wood trim. I don't know, this is not even what you call wood. This is clearly inspired by Mercedes, and I feel like they should have done a better job for this bike. That said, I love the physical button usage on this car, like here, the aircon control button. Lovely. I hate the one that you have to access the screen, but I find it a bit odd that they use the button in the middle for the driving mode. But well, it doesn't really bother me, so that's fine. The steering wheel, these are not haptic, these are you really have to press it to use, which is good. And the right side bottom here, this headlight button, it reminds me of the one in the Volkswagen. And the right side here, on the door, this looks straight from the Mercedes-Benz. Elsewhere, you get this massive 24.6-inch digital cluster and infotainment bundled together. It looks sleek, stylish and clear. And then you have this 14 sound system audio by Sony. Well, it's not quite Burmester level or anything, but for the price point, this is acceptable. Elsewhere, you also get the wireless charger with this nice sweet touch feeling and plenty of storage space like this one here in the middle with 2 cup holders and a hidden compartment underneath here. There's a place to put your car keys. The one near your armrest, quite huge. And the one at passenger side, also, again, can put a lot of stuff in. And I like this underneath here, you can put a handbag or a lot more bigger stuff. And it comes with a 12-volt charging area and also a USB charger port. Other thing you get is this telescopic adjustment on the two-wheel drive, but it is manually adjusted. On the all-wheel drive variant, you get those electric powered like the ones in Lexus. Very cool. Another thing that this variant doesn't get is a speaker near the headrest. So if someone calls you, you can hear their voice directly behind you. However, it feels weird because it sounded like someone is talking behind your back. Anyways, on the two-wheel drive variant, you do get this side piece adjustable headrest so you can make your head suits the contour even better, and I feel that's a nice touch. And lastly, you do get this ambient lighting, multiple color adjustment, and that's straight taken out from the Mercedes-Benz. Well, you need ambient lighting nowadays for the premium look, doesn't it? Now, this is the best seat in the C9. Do you know in China, the most important place for them in the car is actually at the back seat. Number 1, it signifies the owner status. Number 2, they use this to conduct businesses. And number 3 is also a place to relax. Therefore, car makers there give plenty of attention and also importance to this back part. Firstly, the seats. The bench part is positioned even lower than the front, and the seat bench extends all the way to the front so it covers near your thighs and knee, and it's pretty comfortable. And look inside, it's quite roomy. Like the front seat has been adjusted to my height. I'm 170 cm tall, and there's like more than 3/5 of space between my knees and the front seat. And for the head part, there's like at least 2 here. And for your feet, you feel like this is not roomy enough, you can slide it in under the seat to get the maximum stretch available. And even better, the backrest is electronically adjustable. This is quite premium. And then you have this aircon vent at the side, kind of reminds me of the Volvo. And of course, you have a big panoramic sunroof to make you feel much more airy and also have a nice view of the sky on top. Other things you get is this nice headrest adjustment, the same as the front. In the middle, you got your aircon control buttons, and the ventilation is quite nice. There's a hidden USB charging port behind here as well. The passenger seat also can be pushed forward, both the backrest and the bottom part, so you have more space for the bosses. A light if you want to read some books and newspaper, and a hook for you to hang some stuff. Overall, the rear end, for me, is the best place to be in compared to the front. However, there's one thing that I would like to address that I really find it annoying, which is the door card. This is taken straight from the Mercedes-Benz with like little to no adjustment at all. This looks like it was taken directly from the Burmester speaker design. This trim right here, this bit right here, kind of reminds me of those in the C-Class or the E-Class. Come on, Jaecoo, you could have done a better job here. Don't copy 100%. Lastly, let's talk about the boot space. Now, Jaecoo claimed that this is 660 liters. But looking at it, with this amount of rake and this tall height for the deck right here, I doubt so. I wish this part was a bit more deeper in so you can put more stuff, but there's a reason why for it. Come check this out. Look at this, a full-size Michelin 245/50 R20 at the rear of this C9. Wow, I know the aunties or uncles, and they look at this full-size spare tire, they will squeal like, yeah, finally, this is proper. Powering the C9 is Chery's in-house 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo that produces 261 PS and 400 Nm of torque. It is paired with 8-speed automatic torque converter made by iSyn. Yep, you heard that right, so at least you know the gearbox is extra reliable. As for the suspension and handling, the C9 runs a MacPherson strut up front and a multi-link setup in the rear. However, this two-wheel drive variant doesn't get the continuous damping control, which is essentially an adaptive damper. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it really depends, because sometimes having this more sophisticated damper doesn't mean the tuning is good. Okay, now the important question, how does the suspension, the handling, the gearbox and engine combination feels? Let's start with the power. Right now I'm in a normal mode, and the first thing I feel like the throttle, when you press it, it can be a bit jumpy and it will want to launch forward. So you have to really press it with a gentle, linear manner. Regardless of which mode you go, eco, normal or sport, I feel more or less the same. The only biggest difference that it made from those modes is the steering wheel. Steering wheel is pretty much vague, but on sport mode, it gets heavier and has this sort of rubber band effect when you steer left and right, which feels sort of weird, like a video game feeling. I don't like it. Personally, if you ask me, I prefer the eco and normal mode because it's much more relaxing, and well, this being a luxury MPV, you want that cruising, you want that chill speed, and have a good relaxing time. Now for the brakes, it has a very strong initial bite, which might caught some people off guard, same with the throttle. And to me, I feel like this is a preferences issue in the sense that some people prefer that linear braking where you have to depress further in order you get the car to brake even stronger, while the C9, the moment you step on it, it just grabs and want to bite strongly. So this one might takes you a bit of getting used to. But having said that, I feel like the tuning or calibration of the icing and the engine is not really done well. Because why? There's turbo lag, so when you press, it takes a while for the gearbox to kick in. There you go. It takes a while for the icing to shift gears and like tell you, okay, go, when you already have pressed the pedal. So that is not smooth. And right now, let me change back to sport mode. Let's see if there's any difference. 3, 2, 1, press the pedal now. It still lags. So that being said, it just shows that the tuning should be more refined, more smoother, and also shouldn't be too jumpy in this kind of car. Now, what about the ride comfort and the handling? Suspension wise, it feels firm, but not Continental car firm, but it's a bit rough kind of firm. So it's not exactly pliant or smooth or have that sofa kind of feeling. It's a bit more wallowy, and it does have that rocking body motion you feel every time you hit the bumps, like very slightly. So in sense, you can say that the suspension is not so pliant as to say Mercedes-Benz or even Lexus level. But hey, again, for the price point, can't really complain much, can you? Which brings me back to the tires. The C9 runs the Michelin E-Primacy tires, which is tires for an EV car. Maybe that one affects the handling and the comfort level? I don't know. Because EV tires are made slightly different to the normal ICE tires. Maybe the construction is much more stronger, stiffer. Maybe if you change to normal tires, the C9 will ride better? I don't know. Maybe if you have someone, the owner, change to the normal tires, non-EV tires, could tell us if there's any difference. But other than that, I would say the ride-wise, they still have a lot of catch-up to do, a lot of learnings to do from the Mercedes, Lexus or even BMW. Safety-wise, the C9 runs a level 2.5 ADAS with plethora of function as shown on the screen right now. Well, how does the ADAS system works? To me, this is where the typical Chinese ADAS system feeling kicks in, yeah? So it tends to be a bit more sensitive, a bit more grabby, not as bad as some cars I experienced, especially the recent Denza R9, I have to mention. Most of the Chinese cars, even the ADAS can be too sudden or too strong and caught you off guard while driving, and you don't feel pleasant. Like, hey, I should turn this off, which is not what you want to do, having all this system in the car, the safety system. Having said that, I believe Jaecoo should refine the system further and at least reach to the level of these legacy brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW, and then you truly get a proper premium experience. So, what is my conclusion for the Omoda C9 two-wheel drive variant? I would say it's a solid effort by Jaecoo and it's certainly a premium car. However, they still have a lot to learn from the legacy brand like Mercedes-Benz or BMW on a lot of things like the suspension, the interior, and even the general design. If you ask me, what's my favorite pick for this size of SUV, it has to be the Lexus RX, the current generation one that looks so good. However, that one, the price is like close to $500,000 and that's a lot of money. This one, for half of that, even lesser actually, less than 200,000, you get a lot of car for the money you pay, a lot of spec, the features, the good looks. What's not to like? So my verdict, why not you try yourself and see whether if this will be your next perfect car. I'm Zaman from WapCar. Thank you for watching this review. Make sure you leave us a comment, like, share, and also subscribe to our channel. Till next time, ciao!